So let's create the other pages that make up the bulk of the work inside my Slideshow app. So I'm going to do a right mouse click and I'm going to go add page, click on blank, and I'm going to have a blank page template. I'm just going to give this a name now. Obviously you can use sensible names. I'm just going to call my pages 1, 2, 3 and 4 like that. 1, 2 and 3. So I'll just call this page 1 and it creates the page. Here it is. So let's add some interface elements for my page. So this page is going to be a page which is going to obviously have an image on it and the buttons that will enable us to move from image to image. So I'm going to go into the toolbox, and I think the first thing we'll have is we'll have an image. So it's going to be a static image. So I'm just going to place that inside that column. Now by default it pops up and it says what image do you want to add into there. So I'm just going to pick one of the images that I've loaded in already. Pop that in there like that. Now that's the image, and what I'd really like is I'd like us to have buttons underneath that image. So I'm going to go back into the widgets and I'm going to add a layout grid. I'm just going to place it underneath that there. And I'm going to pick 363. Now I think what's nice about that is that will enable us to have a sort of forward and a back button in these two columns on the left and right. The only thing I can really do at this point, I could take that image, and if I go into the properties, what I can do is I can go into the styling and I can change the styling. Can you see here it says center? I could click that so it's actually in the center of the page. There we go. I'll just save that. Now I've got the basics of the page here, but what I really need to do is obviously I need to create more pages, but of course I put the work in. I know that those other pages are going to be very similar in design to these pages. So rather than create the pages from scratch, what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to hover over page 1, and if I do a right mouse click, I can say duplicate. And I can do the same thing again and duplicate. And now I've got 3 pages with the interface, as many of the interface elements as I could put in at this point, like that. So here's my page 1. So now I'm going to just double tap, right mouse click on that. I'm just going to rename that, and I'm going to call that page 2. And this one here, I'm going to do a right mouse click, click on rename, and I'm going to call that page 3. Obviously there's my page 1. Here's my page 2. Let's go into that. I'm just going to double click on the image, and I'm going to pick one of my other images. So I've got another image here. Click OK. And then I go into page 3, double tap on that, select my image, pick my 3rd image, and there we are. So I'm just going to go File, Save All. And I've got my home page, which is going to have my picture of my sort of bookcases. And I've got my 3 pages here, which make up the pages that are going to make up the pages that form the slideshow. Now, I haven't done any of the buttons of the navigation. That's the last bit. That's where I'm going to do the kind of wiring.